Hey everyone, what's up? I am going to actually record my coverage of the U.S. Chess League tonight, and maybe it will get uploaded on YouTube. But so in this position, Mark Paragua is really putting a lot of pressure on Irina's position, but he's down a pawn. So g6, let's say f takes. See, now if queen h6, we're not threatening queen h8, so bishop f8 is playable. But still, maybe pawn takes pawn. I mean, her king is wide open, so I think this is what would happen. And this is going to be a really interesting game. She did take on d5. I think we're going to see g6. And then I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Board 14, or board 2 of the Manhattan-New York match, we have the young Alex Ostrovsky, the young IM, versus the Canadian champion, former, I think, two-time Canadian champion, Pascal Charbonneau. Also, former U.S. Chess League MVP. So in this position, White has the d5 square, firmly in his control, but Black has a knight on e5. This bishop could be fine on f6. Maybe White's a little bit better, but it's nothing crazy. We're going to see an exciting game here. Actually, I'm going to add the Twitch chat. Oh, no, I shouldn't. I don't have any space. You know what? I have... no, I probably don't have space. Well, anyone watching this later on, a lot of people are watching this on Twitch, and they're going to be asking me some questions, which I will respond to. So, Gusiga asks, could one play for the Boston team, born and living in Atlanta or New York? Well, basically the way it works is all of these matches, all of the players are in the same location right now. So the New York team is playing at a location in New York, and the Manhattan team's all together at a place in Miami. They all have a tournament director on site to ensure that they're playing fairly. This is going to be an interesting game. I think White has like maybe a small advantage, but it's not going to be simple to do much about it. But I definitely prefer White. Now we got Ibrahimov against Levy Rosman. Now Ibrahimov has actually just been added to New York's roster. He's only playing this one game. I guess, you know, the World Youth Championship is happening right now, so a lot of key players are away right now and not able to compete for their teams. So teams have made some last-minute substitutions on their lineup. Well, actually, you get to add some player. You get to add one player later in the season, and New York added this guy. I don't know anything about him, of course, because it's his first game. But Rosman, I know, is a really strong player. He has a great record in the league, and I don't know, his just general play impresses me. He's always a tough opponent, and just doesn't lose easily. And on board 3, I think he's very strong, and one of the MVPs of the Manhattan team. But this game is very early on, so we're not going to know what happens here for a while. FCST fan says, you could put the standings where the notation is and the chat where the standings is. The reason I can't do that is eventually we're going to have 2 boards open at once, and that's going to take up a lot more space. Once the games get like in time trouble and there's a lot of action and we need to be keeping an eye on everything at once, we're going to have 2 boards open. Therefore, there's just not enough space on the screen to put the chat as well as the boards. I kind of want ice cream. After we go through all the games once, I think I'm going to be bringing up a bowl of ice cream. It's going to happen. Board 4 of this match, we have Iyer. I don't know Iyer so well. I know Bromberg played one match this season, and he had a rough time of it, losing to this super talented Carissa Yip. Now, right now, Bromberg is down a piece. However, the bishop on a4 is clearly trapped, and the knight on d2 is pinned. This position looks like, you know, pretty sharp to me. I can't even figure out exactly what's happening. Somehow I kind of like Black's position, but I have to make sure that I'm not going crazy. I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, I kind of... Oh, it's Black to move now. He just went f takes e4. Well, if we take the bishop, I don't know, man. I just like black's position. I think something is going wrong for Iyer. We take the bishop, then white takes on f5 is the idea. And then after the knight, yeah, that might be okay for, that would be okay for white, I guess. This is not so simple. There's no need to rush and take the bishop. The bishop ain't going anywhere, so taking the bishop seems kind of crazy. Why not just take the knight instead, which actually can be defended someday. Let's actually analyze this real quick. So, something strikes me as odd about this move. I kind of would prefer to do something else. I don't know, maybe pawn takes pawn. Seems more natural. But let's say he does this, a simple move which does win a piece. Let's say queen takes, rook takes, pawn takes pawn. Well, now black has multiple ideas. We could even go knight e5, because if capture, there's a back rank mate. Although I don't like putting the knight under attack. We could also play knight f4, attacking this pawn. We could play the more safe move, just blockading. And now white has 2 pawns for the piece. Well, we're going to win a piece is the idea. But you know, now the pawns are kind of blockaded pretty firmly. I mean, so I actually think maybe just take it. Knight e7. What are we doing about this pawn? I mean, g4. Your second rank is now weak. You have to keep an eye on that. Oh, and also I'm attacking your rook. So rook c5. But ugh. I don't know, man. It's hard to believe that this isn't pretty good for black. Pawn takes. I can take this. Let's say you go g4. I can do this with a threat of rook d2. It's probably Bromberg's doing quite well here, which would be a huge victory for New York. And let's check at the last match of the evening. We've already looked at the other ones, and we will get back to those for sure. But we have Julio Becerra versus Danny Edelman. Now, this is the least interesting match of the night. And why do I say that? Well, because Miami is eliminated from the playoffs, and Connecticut, basically, they're going to be the 5th seed. Unless something weird happens, Connecticut's going to end as the 5th seed or the 6th seed. They're basically guaranteed to be in the playoffs. So these two teams are not really playing for that much. Now, white, the material is even. Black has 5 pawns, white has 6. Well, pieces are even, not pawns. However, the a6 pawn is a little, I mean, it's a little weak, obviously, but if black takes it, white can play like knight takes e5, and the bishop on e2 uncovers against the rook on a6. I wish there was a way to make arrows on a non-examined board. I mean, this position actually looks pretty bad for black. I think Becerra is just going to win. He's up a pawn. The a6 and the c6 pawn are very strong. I just like the position. Megapanda says, do you agree that it doesn't make sense to play bishop takes a2 and then think after pawn takes a6? So this is really interesting. Becerra actually sacrificed a piece here. Yeah, and so the question is, should black have simply played knight to c5 and given the piece back? I mean, sorry, instead of giving the piece back. I mean, probably, you know, because otherwise he's just suffering for no compensation. I mean, this is just bad, but this just, I don't buy this for a second, man. Just giving up all these pawns and, okay, the idea is if bishop takes, there's no more discovery on a6, so black can go rook takes. And if pawn takes, you know, if white takes with a pawn, there's some weakness around the king. I still don't buy it. I think black's in trouble here. In this position, well, we have Leif Pressman, and he's playing against Jeffrey Haskell. And it looks pretty even position. Well, white has two bishops against bishop and knight. But basically what's going to happen is if we take with the pawn, we have an isolated pawn right now. We don't really want to do that in general. If we take with the bishops, we give away the 2 bishops advantage. Black can play e5, by the way, but if he takes and plays something like knight f6. Yeah, we've given away the two bishops advantage, but after rook to d1, white will control the d file. So I don't know. I mean, I would take with the bishop. I think if e5, you know, we still have these two bishops, so we can claim to have some small advantage. Maybe the best move is just king g7, or maybe yeah, king g7 looks logical. And then if bishop takes, knight takes, and you don't get this file so easily. But you know, even endgames like this, you know, white can try to play this position with 3 against 2. Bishop takes was played. Bishop takes was played in the game. On board 3 of this match, we have Pelaez versus Josh Kolos. Kolos is getting attacked. Like, white's pieces are aiming at the king. The question is that attack going to amount to something or not? I'm not sure that it will. And if it doesn't, I kind of like black's queenside stuff, but you know, it's not a big deal. I mean, probably white's doing okay here. Yeah, I think it's okay for white. This is going to be a complicated game. And board 10, we have Jason Shah versus Yanovsky, Vlad Yanovsky. We have another Maroczy bind type setup. And you know, it also looks, I would say, pretty balanced, but it's a better version for black because you look at the knight. The knight is on e1. The knight doesn't really want to be on e1. So I would say black should be doing okay here. The knight on c5 has a nice secure square. What's up, Chess Killer? Chess Killer in the house. You are on here. That's for people. If this is being, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm talking to somebody on Twitch. But all right, so let's go back to the first game. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take a quick ice cream break. All right, we're back, and we have ice cream. So, what is happening in this Bartel-Strapunski game? Well, these pawns are kind of doubled. By the way, everyone watching, which game should we look at? The Crush game? They want me to go to the Crush game. I'm going to go right to that. It's a really exciting game, so it makes sense. And Paragua has played g6 in this position as predicted. What the heck is black going to do? Black is down, black is up a piece, but white's attack is pretty vicious. Whew. I don't know, I'm scared, man. I'm real scared if I'm Crush. Okay, here's one thing I'm thinking, although I'm still scared. I was thinking rook f8, just trying to trade some things, relieve the pressure. The problem is just rook g1. Or, you know, also like queen h6, threatening mate. It looks just over. So what the heck does black do here? The king is just wide open, man. Wide open. I don't know, man. I think, well, Kai the chess player says, that moment when your best friend stands you up on a Skype date. You have Skype dates? I don't know. With your best friend? What's a Skype date exactly? Mega Panda says, could this just be lost? Well, I have a really bad feeling that Crush is lost here. Yeah, just looks real bad to me. And combined with the fact that I think New York is doing really well on board 4 of this match, I mean, I think they're just in trouble. I mean, I think Manhattan's in trouble. I think New York's going to win the division. Because they'll win 2 games. I mean, they could go 2-0 to start this match. Glorious ice cream. I needed it because my mouth is so dry. I just need something. I don't know. I need to figure something out because when I talk too much, I get this really dry mouth thing, and it's like just so brutal. Water just doesn't work. Somebody needs to help me. Somebody suggests f6, no problem. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Am I lagging? Alright, so f6. I mean, other than immediate checkmate, I'd say it's no problem. But this is just game over. Let me try desperately to find something for black. Queen g2, queen h6. I mean, black's pieces just suck, and all of white's pieces are amazing. I think the position's virtually lost. I think we should start with this, but it's not. I mean, because, you know, we do have bishop g5. Okay, let's do this, because I don't know what else to do. And, I mean, if pawn takes check, we can at least block, so it's not that big a deal. Even looking at this move. Check. Fortunately, black has queen f3. You know, what about this? Is this just over also? How are you going to stop h8 queen? Wow, so like, this is just not going to work. I mean, even with like random queen sacks that I make are good for white, that's bad news. This doesn't work because it's forced mate. And I'm pretty sure. What did I just do? Oh, I just pawn takes. Yeah, I think it's just over. Yeah, I mean, you're down a queen for a bishop, but... Or wait, bishop, rook. Wait, are you down a queen and a bishop? No. Yeah. Wow. Wow. White is down a queen and a bishop on the board. But it looks like game over. That's an amazing line. See, I didn't record these videos before because I'm eating ice cream on stream, and I actually feel guilty about it now that it's being recorded. Usually I wouldn't care, but now I'm like, oh man, sitting here eating ice cream, everyone's going to say some stupid-ass comment. I just feel so restricted. So restricted. Poker Proin, will you be reviewing others all session, or are you planning on playing a bit later? I'm going to review we're going to wait until all the games are over. We're going to be watching all of these games. So, I don't know, I think that, well, Manhattan better win this game. And, you know, Rosman could win this game. I mean, he's a really good player. This is interesting, because on the board, black is up a piece. The problem is the bishop on a4 and the knight on c7 are both being attacked. I mean, fortunately for black, you can sack the bishop for a pawn on b3, and then the material will be even at least. By the way, bad news, guys. Bad news. The ice cream is cookie dough ice cream, right? What is the worst thing that can happen when you're eating cookie dough ice cream? There's no damn cookie dough left. I'm just sitting here and it's just like chocolate chip ice cream. It's brutal. Somebody wants to go see the Atlanta match? Go 2006. Let's go right to it. Corley versus Gurevich. What the heck is happening here? White is now up a bunch of pawns. What the hell is... How'd this happen? Did this have to happen? Let me do a quick look. So was f5 a good move? F5, e4. I mean, e4 looks nice, for sure. King f7, rook d5. Oh, we can't even take it because bishop takes c4. So yeah, this is just it's turned ugly. And so now Casa Corley is doing well on this board, which is very bad news for Atlanta. Board 2 of this match. This is, I think, going to be one of the most interesting games of the night because white is down a pawn, but has attacking ideas on the queen side. Jason Malumed asks, "Hi Greg, any tips for a shoulder injury?" That's a good question. Does anyone here know? Like anyone in the chat could give some help with that question? I'm not a shoulder expert. I actually had a shoulder injury a long time ago, but I mean, I just hope that you guys can help him out. He really needs help. Shoulder's killing him. So white is down upon here. The black king's a little weak, but honestly, the more I look at it, the more I think that black is doing well here. Ice cream, totally, right? I think ice cream works for most things. I'm gonna have a bite right now in honor of that idea. Poker pawn. I agree. Nobody really cares. Oh my god. I think I got like a little bit of cookie dough. It was not like a full cookie dough bite, but it was like a little part of a cookie dough. All right. I just don't see exactly the compensation anymore. I feel like black's pieces are starting to go to natural and good squares. I don't know. I prefer black here. Oh my God, Kai! Wait, everyone, moment of silence. Moment of silence. Kai, the chess player, just says, I just found out that my mom ate the rest of the ice cream. Sad face. Please, everyone. Just a moment of silence. All right. Next game, we got Belyson versus Corallo. Belyson's been playing well this year. He was up a bunch of pawns, but his king was stuck in the middle. But now he's only up one pawn, and his king's still stuck in the middle. Sort of. I mean, queen to d5 seems pretty natural. Trading queens, even trading queens and taking on b2. Black has just got to be better now. I mean, I think because we have two bishops, it just has to be good. Like we could trade and take on b2, or we can go queen to d5. So many possibilities. So many possibilities. And that's good news for Atlanta, I guess. And board 8 in this match, we got Atlanta. We have Damir Studin, who won a big game last week against Ilya Krasik. I don't know what the hell is going on here. My gut tells me that white is okay. I mean, black's pawn on b3 looks nice. I just don't see exactly how to use it. Uh-oh. Kai the chess player says, can I ask a personal question about Crush and see if anyone knows it? You can ask. I'm very curious what... It's amazing that the personal questions get asked a lot more about the female chess players. I wonder why. Alright. One thing for sure, while doing this, I eat my ice cream much slower. Ivanov Zirk. Not too exciting. I want to check okay, Crush is still not moved. Just wanted to check. Vigorito, I always thought he was a little better, and he still seems a little better. If you look at it, his rook is active, his knight is well posted. He's about to capture in g5, and when he captures, he's going to go h4. He's going to get an outside passed pawn. Kai, this is not an appropriate topic of discussion for this channel. Hallelujah, I got a big piece of cookie dough. Glorious. But yeah, I mean, the outside pass pawn's coming. Black is just a little better here. It's not going to be easy to win, by no means. But, well, the other problem, though, is after we take on g5, white can go knight f3, attack our rook, attack our g5 pawn, but then we go rook e4, and we can defend our pawn on g5. And I don't know. I still think black's a little better. It's not going to be easy at all. Alright, moving on. Alexander Katz versus Smilov. Well, black can always take on h5, but then white gets rook to d7. I mean, I don't know. I mean, black should probably play rook on rook to c8. White will go like c3. Then we can go rook c7. And then white can go g4. It's a complicated endgame. It should be okay for both sides, but it's still interesting things are happening. Komaromi says, and people ask why there are no women in chess. Yeah, there's some commentary being made. Here's the problem, everyone. When just so much discussion of women in chess revolves around sex, their look, what they're, how attractive they are, and it's just like,
Draw?
It's just generally a good idea to shy away from that kind of talk. Let's just leave it at that right now. Somebody has offered a draw. Was it accepted? Yes. Pressman and Haskell have drawn. That was a pretty even position. It's okay, Kai. It's okay. But see, here's the thing, Kai. It would be unlikely that it would be something you'd think about if it was a male chess player. So it's like women in chess have to deal with people kind of just wanting to know all these things about them all the time, and you're obviously not alone. Everyone wants to know these things. But by the way, it's just the point I'm making is it's like people are all up in women chess players' business all the time. If you ever watch a game online where a woman is playing, half the comments, maybe half, are about the position, the other half are about whether the woman is good looking or not, if she's dating somebody, silly stuff like that. And then like at least 25% are like vicious insults of like, so I mean, it's just like it's really tough. This position looks really bad for black. I don't know exactly what happened, by the way, but he did this setup. He stuck his knight on d4, but after queen f2, the knight has to go back, and then the b6 square is belonging to white. This is really good news for Boston. Jughandle says, counterpoint, when a guy smells terrible at the table is talked about. Is it really talked about? Kai, you're the best. Don't worry about it. Oh, what the hell is happening in the crush game? Alright, let's see what went down here. So, g6 was played, bishop to f8. I didn't even see that defensive try, but I gotta be honest, it looks like by far the best try. And the game is now, it looks a lot more interesting. I didn't really see that move. But, okay, queen takes h5, and the king runs to e7. I mean, God, it looks... Doesn't white win a queen? It looks like over. Alright, let me just show you what I mean real quick. Why is it not showing up? Okay. So queen takes h5. The king can go to g8, but then you just lose after rook g1. If the king goes to e7, well, I can play bishop f6. Rook takes, bishop takes. So now you're up a queen. However, the rook for a rook, but then black has two bishops and a rook for the queen, which in actuality that's enough compensation for a queen. So this is not so simple. Queen h7, black can try, maybe bishop to f7, just controlling the g6 square. The queen doesn't have that many, well, queen h6 actually. We cannot block because queen takes a8, so we'd have to move the king. But, the point is, it's still complex. It might be good for white, though. I gotta think about it. What about pawn to f6 here, too? I think king e6 is okay. I might have to finish off this ice cream. Word in the street is Bromberg is completely winning. Yep, I hear that. Rook f8. Idea rook f1. New York's going to win this game. It's very, very likely. So let's go back to New Jersey. We haven't looked at the Philly match much. So Tom Bartel, aka Spinal Tap, is playing Strapunski. Strapunski had a really nice game against Bartel a few years ago in the league. He won this very beautiful bishop endgame. I mean, I'm going to tell you, when I play, when I want to play strong opposition, 5-minute chess, I play in the Internet Chess Club. And, you know, I get a lot of strong opponents there. There's a 5-minute pool. And stick around, everyone. After the coverage tonight, I will be playing Blitz on ICC. Oh man, I'm almost out of ice cream. Such a nightmare. This position's like complicated. I mean, somehow white seems to be doing alright. Like, white's rooks are better, the a6 pawn's weak. I think Strapunski's playing well. If black goes rook takes pawn, e6 is going to put a lot of pressure on his position. So I think New Jersey's looking good on board 1. On board 2, somehow Minier has 5 minutes left on move 20 in the most normal position in chess history. Completely unacceptable use of time, but, you know, some people have time trouble problems, and Minier is a strong, tactical, sharp player, but definitely big time trouble problems. And if he's going to fix anything about his chess, if he just fixes that, that could be like 50 points immediately, like instantly. Because you can't play so well against a guy of this level when you have when you just have no time. And if you look at the game, like the moves look like kind of moves you would play in a 2-minute game, like all completely normal. No need to be spending all your time in these moves. And we've seen this from a lot of different players throughout the league, but it's a huge handicap. Balakrishnan, he's no longer down a pawn. The material is even, and he's putting pressure on black's position because black's rook on a8 is very passive. Kai, the chess player, says, that moment when you feel important because you made Greg smirk. When did I smirk? What's going on? Glorious ice cream. Just got another cookie dough piece too. I used to have a roommate, Elizabeth Spiegel from the movie Brooklyn Castle. Great roommate, of course, except one gigantic flaw was when I would buy cookie dough ice cream, she didn't want the ice cream, but like I'd go to bed and she'd be sitting there, or whatever, I'd do something, and it turned out she would open the ice cream and just dig out all the cookie dough bites. Such a nightmare, because you feel like you have all this ice cream and there's no cookie dough left. Balakrishnan, I think, has very good winning chances due to the passivity of the a8 rook. White's probably going to win this pawn on a7 at some point. Well, I know what smirk means. I can't remember what thing I smirked to. What's up, Railbird80? I don't know. I mean, I think this match is actually looking pretty bad for Philadelphia. Well, at least this board looks very good for Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to win. It's going to be up 2 pawns. He's already up 2 pawns, but he can play like f3 here. So everything's looking pretty good in this game. Let's go back to the crush game, because that's definitely the most exciting. Whoa. So, that's an interesting move. Not playing bishop f6, but instead bishop to b6, with the idea, we're not going to let that king come to d8. We're going to keep the king trapped in the center. When black's queen moves, we're going to play f6 check, followed by something like queen f5 check. So let's take a look real quick at what I'm talking about. So let's say the queen goes to, let's say, f7. Well, that just loses to rook d7 check, actually, deflecting the king from defending the queen. So we can't go queen f7. So what are the other possibilities? Queen c6, queen b5, queen c4, queen e5. I think everything else loses the queen. Let's say queen to c6. Why not? Well, then just this move. Only move. And, I don't know, queen f5 maybe? King takes, queen h8, queen h7. Just looks really ugly. I mean, you're up a piece, but like your king is just totally annihilated here. Like, Crush is going to lose this game. It's going to happen. BJ logs in and says, "Turn on scream." Of course, Greg is talking about ice cream. Oh yeah, no, I like that line about your parents eating all your ice cream. It's brutal when you have people who eat all the ice cream. So what game should we look at now, everyone? I mean, I think the Carolina Atlanta match is pretty interesting. Well, let's look at this one. This is interesting from a theoretical standpoint. Does White have a forced win? It's not so simple. Because if Rook takes g6, that endgame should be a draw. That should be a draw. With just one pawn and a rook against a rook. Now, sometimes it's winning, but in this particular instance, I think it's a draw. Give me a second, folks. So I don't know, how should White play this? Well, let's examine. So White to move. I mean, it's not super obvious. It's not super obvious even what Black's going to do, is what I'm saying, like next move. But how does White improve the position? Like, we could play something like this with the idea of this move, which actually would be very strong. So I kind of think about something like this move. And now what is Black going to do? Oh, is this strong? If you go here, we have perpetual check. If you go here, we have check. Rook d5 seems okay. So rook f2 doesn't seem like it does that much. King h5 doesn't work because of rook h7. Mega Panda says, why not just rush your connected passed pawns? But, I mean, I feel like your king is open now. Like, somehow I'm going to get so many checks. But maybe, well, I win a pawn by force, right? Well, no, if you do that. I have to go king d4. I don't know, rook check. I think I just misanalyzed something, by the way. Because even this is not so clear, because White gets to take on g6. I guess e5 is interesting. Huh. Check. Oh, wait, I can take this. Whatever. Yo! Come on. Alright, e5 doesn't work. Somebody says f6 first. Strikes me as... I don't know. Struck me as odd, but maybe it's okay. I've got to calculate. After this, the only move. That seems okay. This is going to be interesting, but maybe f6. What's up, Origami Captain? Oh man, I got auto logged out. Oh, he has played the move f6 in the game. Black then played rook a5 with some idea of some sort. I'm not exactly sure what. And then black played rook to d5. I mean, I think good chances Corley wins this game. Board 2, you know, pretty balanced position, like we already talked about. But it's going to be very hard for Minier to win a position like this against somebody like Molnar. I went to the wrong match, by the way. We were looking at Carolina, Atlanta. This game has always been pretty interesting. Black is still up a pawn, though. Why does it say inactive? Oh, I guess somebody got adjourned, or somebody disconnected. White is playing a4. He wants to just go a5, and if the bishop takes, queen takes b7, checkmate. Bishop c6 looks pretty logical to me. Just put the bishop on the diagonal where it's beautiful. I mean, it definitely looks like the normal move. Let's just put it that way. I don't know it's the best move, but I would be strongly tempted to do that. Bishop takes a4 is losing a piece, I think. If we go bishop takes a4, if queen takes a4, queen takes f7. But bishop a4, bishop g6. And I believe that wins a piece for black. But still, I have faith in black's position. Schroer, however, is a notorious time trouble addict, like beyond notorious. I mean, listen, he played bishop c8. I don't, it's possible I'm overlooking something because, you know, I'm not playing the game, but it really hurts me to not put that bishop on c6. Like, really, really hurts me. I feel very sad that we just did that. Okay, a reminder to everyone watching, don't chat to me on ICC at all because it makes me have to leave the game that we're analyzing. Jug handle, I don't believe that's true. Oh wow, he's listed as a manager. That's funny. Anyway, bishop c6. Yeah, like there's certain moves you just don't want to play. Like you want the bishop on c6, and there has to be. I mean, okay, here's the problem with putting it on c6. I guess you could call it a problem. Is bishop takes g6, queen takes knight e5. But still, I would. Yeah, maybe that's like a reason. But so I like Carolina on board 1. On board 2, what the heck's happening here? Oh, and by the way, it's all over, folks. It's all over. Crush has resigned. Let's just take a look at this real quick. Oops, wrong game. So, queen g5, and then the beautiful bishop to b6. Queen g8 was played, which somehow I failed to notice is a legal move. f6 check. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is not a good place for the king. Queen f5, and black resigns. Why did black resign? Well, king f7, rook takes d7. Fantastic attacking win from Mark Paragua. And New York is headed to the division title. I mean, they're up 1-0. It looks like they're going to win on board F4. What's happening here? King F7. I mean, listen, white is going to get a lot of pawns, maybe? I think so. The thing is, though, will white actually even win the B pawn? I'm not sure. The position's winning, but like there's some attempts at counterplay, I guess. But, you know, probably black is going to win. What's up, Double H123? I was playing chess when I was a little kid. Alright, King F7 has been played. So let's go see... We haven't looked at Boston. I remember liking white's position here a lot, and I still like it. Wait, why did he not get to the B6 square? F4. I'm surprised he couldn't stick anything on B6 and make use of it, like bishop to B6. But maybe it just wasn't as good as it looked. Instead, he played the move F4, going for some kind of attack with F5, which, you know, also seems relatively reasonable to me. I mean, black's just desperate for space here. The problem is, oh, he played F5. See, now black gets the E5 square forever. So it's always a little risky when you play a move like F5 here. On the other hand, white, after knight E5, white can play F6. And kind of mess black's position up a little bit. Kilroy says, Sappho went down. I don't know what Sappho means. Who's Sappho? We have Ivanov versus Yerk. Ivanov has 2 bishops. Black has a bishop and a knight, but black is targeting this B3 pawn. I don't know what's happening. Queen H3, attacking the bishop, followed by something like Rook C1 to C6. I feel like white's position's a little bit on the loose side, but when you have 2 bishops against bishop and knight, usually your bishops do a lot to kind of help cover like weaknesses. I don't know. This is going to be a double-edged game. I think white's doing fine, but black is probably doing okay also. But my gut, I kind of like white, but I could be wrong because white's king side's a little shaky with these weird ass pawns with H2 and F4. I don't know, folks. So everyone, what game should we watch? So we have Wang and Vigorito. Go 2006 wants to look at Corallo Belyson, so we'll do that in a minute. Is black winning this with the idea of H4 and the passed pawn? Maybe. Probably black is winning. Because in a king and pawn endgame, the outside pawn is very important.
Draw.
And H4 is coming. I don't see what to do about it. I think black's just winning. Nice technique from Vigorito. Just H4. And you notice, like many moves ago, I recognize black's going for this outside pass pawn. Oh, that's why he didn't take back. He was actually didn't see that. So pawn takes big mistake, it turns out. Yeah, and it's just pretty dead, I think. And now he uses out-tempos him to make his king go back. So let's think, is there anything white could have desperately done here to survive? I highly, highly doubt it. Just making sure, though. It's close, but no cigar. Yeah, I don't see a way. Yeah, it looks like it's just winning. He plays F3, but I mean, I think just H4 is winning. Maybe even something else is winning. Like maybe even G4 is winning. No, G4 is stupid. Just H4 though. Komoromi says, why do you go a4 instead of a3? Wait, what is it? What does that mean? I'm confused. The opponent's already in a3, so I change the camera angle a little bit while I'm leaning back like this. Strapunski, I think he's playing a pretty nice game here. He's up a pawn, aggressive pieces. Looks good for New Jersey. Oh, we're supposed to look at Belyson, right? Rosman Ibrahimov. I don't know. I mean, black is actually down a pawn here, but has some compensation. For sure. I mean, the white queen on b6 is totally disconnected with the rest of his army. The white queen on b6 is just out of play. Unbelievable. This guy, Ibrahimov, keeps disconnecting. When you disconnect, you get penalties. Your opponent gets more time, you lose time, so it can be really costly. Let's check out Belyson. Somebody wanted to see this game. So white is down the exchange. I mean, white's just losing, right? What the hell happened here? I don't understand. So knight b6. So I knew I had a good feeling about Corallo's chances. Yeah, this is just not this exchange stack's just not good enough. King e2. I mean, probably we have to go knight. No, we're just losing because bishop f8 and bishop takes pawn's coming. Atlanta's going to win this game. So I think Carolina's probably going to win on board 1. Atlanta's going to win on board 3. On board 4 of this match, let's take a look. White is up on time and a pawn, but black's pieces are more active. The rook is threatening to take on b3. And my gut tells me that black should be able to hold this position. For example, maybe something like bishop to d4. I mean, you just have to have a feel for when the pieces are crappy. And white's pieces are crappy here. Like the knight on b1 is just not good. The rook on c2 is amazing. So I just can't believe that white is winning here. I think bishop to d4. Let me demonstrate on an examined board. I think bishop to d4. Bishop takes, knight takes. Now you win a second pawn, right? But at this point, we're threatening rook c1, and so I actually don't know how to stop that. So I think rook g5 just doesn't quite work. Actually, I think the position's just lost. Like completely lost position. So after bishop d4, I think you have to go bishop to e1. But then, yeah, this at least holds things. But then, like b4, for example, I mean, the position just looks really bad. I actually think black's better here, maybe. This could be good for Carolina. I don't see what he's gonna do. Schroer he played bishop to c8. Francisco's still thinking down to 6 minutes. At some point, when we get into time trouble, we're going to have dual games. We're going to have 2 games up at once. But there's not like crazy action just yet. But time trouble is approaching. Francisco's dropping to under 5 minutes. And speaking of 5 minutes, let's check out the Minier-Molnar game. Where both guys wow, both players are down to 2 minutes in the most boring position ever. So I don't know how that happened, but somehow it did. That position is very balanced, of course. Wow. So if bishop takes, queen d8, knight e8. And black is okay. Oh man, just yawned. I mean, a more normal move would be something like queen to e3. And then after bishop takes, queen takes. Well, we have our queen in the center, but then black could go queen to d7. The position's about even. And I think Molnar can see the other boards and realize that New Jersey's in good shape. Because remember on board 3, what the heck happened here? Well, Balakrishan was doing really well. It looks like he still is. He's going to queen that pawn. I mean, it's going to become a queen. So the only question is, are Black's 2 pawns going to provide him compensation? Highly doubtful, because they're just too slow in this position. They're not close enough to. Well, let's think. Rook e2, King f6, f4, Rook f8, f3, Queen. Actually, all right. No, that does work. Still for Black. It's for White. Sorry. By the way, Vigorito has won his game. New England is up 1-0. So Rook check, King f6, and we're going to say f4. So probably the move that's going to happen is, I mean, this move's interesting because if f3 check and king here, idea of queening. Well, first we're going to take this next move. Although after f2, now you just lose. Yeah, so that's one interesting idea. But let's say instead we just play rook f8. Now if f3, queen, take, f2. We can't immediately stop the pawn. However, rook b8 to b1 is winning. Wait, am I lying? I may have been lying, actually. It's a draw because the king's coming in. So that means this is a little more interesting than I thought. Let's refresh this game. Rook check has been played. And king d7, by the way, is possible as well. Yeah, I mean, this is probably just totally winning. And then king f8 and queen, because you can't even move either of your pawns right now. What's up, Laszlo Sut? Yeah, I don't know. Just looks like Balakrishan's gonna get this one. On board 4, O'Brien looks completely winning. So that's good news for Philly. But I think Philly can't win the match because Rubinchik's gonna lose, and I think Bartel, he's just down a pawn. And Philly needs to win the match. A draw is not enough. They will be eliminated from the playoffs on a draw. Almost for sure. Let's take a look at New England-Boston. Now, New England now has a 1-point lead, which is big news for them. And very bad news for Boston. I'm sorry, I got rid of the scores for a minute. On board 1 of this match, I mean, this game's complex, and still anything could happen. Board 3, what Boston really needs is to be much better in one of the games. And this is not one where they're much better. It's just like a normal position again. I think they're going to need to win on board 4. Let's see what's happening over there. Well, I like their position on board 4. I don't like how their player has 4 minutes left. That is, irresponsible time use as usual. Because it's just kind of like a normal position. And things are about to go down, and he's not going to have the time to figure out what to do. But I still kind of generally like White's position here. I'm just a little sad that we gave up that e5 square, though, for the knight. I mean, Black's knights are pretty well posted now, so I could be wrong. Maybe Black is just okay. I have a bad feeling that Boston's not going to win this match, and that the winner of Carolina-Atlanta is going to take it and make the playoffs. Although Boston might draw their match. So what the heck is happening here? Corley, I thought he was winning, but it looks less clear now. Looks much less clear now. Sorry, folks. What's up, Fark Beach is an idiot? Yeah, 107 people, but everyone quiet. Usually a lot of chit-chat. What's going on? There we go. Cinetic Poll is here, so we're all good. This is not going to be easy for White. I actually don't know that Carolina's going to win this game anymore. Not easy at all. I know, man. Lurkers. I love the lurkers, though. I love all people who are tuned in. Alright, anyway, let's kick out board 6 again. So I like it. I think good chance of a draw on board 1, which is a big change from earlier. On board 2, very complex, but I still kind of like black. I think black's doing well, which is good news for Carolina. Board 3, I think that, I mean, black's virtually just winning here. Wait. We can take on c6, which makes things a little complicated. Or can we? Can we take on c6? If we take with the a knight, he goes f6. We go knight to d3. He goes rook to d2. It's kind of ugly. We can take with the c knight. But then rook a2. I mean, black's in big trouble. White's in big trouble. Let's just say that. What do you mean no sound? Your sound is off? Why would your sound be off, Synetic? I don't know, this just looks like bad news. So let me just recap this. I can draw board 1, Carolina board 2, Atlanta board 3, and board 4, the money board. Crap. Did I miss this move rook b4? I think I did. I always think crap because I missed it. Rook check, king f2, rook takes knight, bleh. I mean, we're okay at least. We can take on a3 with rook a1. Let's think though, folks. Oh, by the way, rook check, you must play king to g2. And let me just demonstrate why. So after check, this is the only move. King f2 loses after takes b2. Rook b4. And people watching, tell me why black is winning here. Somebody tell me black's standard winning move here. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got some comments here. Good job, correct move. I'm putting thumbs up because you guys got the right moves. Rook h1, rook takes, boom. What's up, Around Way Other? Where you been? What's up, Cod Bryant? So instead, after rook check, you must play king to g2. I'm trying to find if there's any tricky moves here, but there probably isn't. I don't see a tricky move. So can black push here, or is it going to be a draw? Oh, what did he do here? Let's take a look. He has his knight in a beautiful spot now. So he just took the f-pawn and secured it with g4. Very interesting idea, because black can almost always have a draw in this position. And meanwhile, white's knight is a little shaky. I have a feeling that white should be able to hold, but I can understand how this could be an annoying move to face. Another game has completed. As predicted, Balakrishnan has won, giving New Jersey the lead. Carolina Atlanta is the only one with no games completed, and I think at the moment it's the most interesting match. So we're going to probably keep an eye on this. What's happening here? Is there any chance white's going to hold this position? I mean, he shouldn't, because black still has a pawn left. I mean, anything can happen in like a board 4 U.S Chess League situation, but I don't think this is one of those cases. I think black will win this game. That's a strong move. Yeah, yeah, black's just going to win. That's over. And that's going to put New York up 2-0, which means that Ostrovsky's going to have to find a way to win this, which doesn't look very easy at all here. Because I think Black's position is pretty much fine. And Black's going to have to win this. They're going to have to win the other two games, or else they're going to drop in the standings. And they might get passed by New Jersey. They may end up with the 4th seed playing Connecticut in round 1. Connecticut's not an easy team to face. We haven't looked at Miami and Connecticut in forever, mainly because it doesn't have much to do with the postseason. Let's take a quick look, though. I don't want to completely ignore these games. White still seems to be doing well. White's up the exchange, going to take the c-pawn. Board 2 was a draw on this match. Board 3, White is up a lot of pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. White's up 2 pawns. I mean, it looks really bad for Colas. Wait, sorry, White doesn't have a rook. Okay, things have changed. It's still very dangerous. Bishop f6 is coming. But is it enough? Maybe. I mean, it's very interesting stuff by Peleas. We have another completed game. Minier and Molnar drew, which is not a big surprise given the way the position looked. I think, let me look at board 4 this match. Yanovsky looked good in this position earlier. Looks less good now. Now it looks kind of, well, bishop g7, rook check. Bishop, yeah, I mean, it looks almost even. I want to check Bartel's game again because it looks totally winning. But the thing is, on board 4, O'Brien is winning, but something weird happened. What the heck happened? Something about his technique was really off here. I don't know how this happened exactly. But White's king is so far away from the action. It looks like a big problem. Okay, king c5. I mean, this is just... He's scared of the passed pawn, I guess. But... I mean, g4. I don't know. Something went wrong. Well, first of all, in this position, e5, no. No way, man. You go g4 in a position like this, I think. You don't... I don't know, I would go g4, get all 3 pawns connected. But instead he played this, alright? And now White... First of all, also, I don't know if king d5 is best, but now knight a7 to b5 is coming, he starts to get scared. So he plays this move to run after the a-pawn. And after h4, 1 pawn stops 2. All of a sudden, this is not so simple. We have to really figure out what the hell to do here. Because if we bring our king over like he does, I don't understand e6. I mean, generally in a position like this, e6 is a horrible move because you generally is horrible. Maybe I'm just wrong. I haven't calculated it. Usually you would just go bishop to b2 and keep your pawns connected. Oh, but then knight e7. What about bishop d6, then knight d4? Okay. I mean, probably White's still winning, actually. Because Black can't take on f5. And Black's knight can't really do that much. So I don't know. I was critical, but maybe it was premature. And Black really has no way to do anything here. It looks a little annoying with the 1 pawn stopping the 2 and the Black having the blockade of these pawns. The problem is anytime you go king takes pawn, just e7 wins. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. Let me I just want to make 100% sure of one thing. Let's just try this. There's no way it works, but what the hell am I doing? I can just take the pawn. Alright, never mind. So Philly should win this. The problem is on board 1 for Philly, they're not going to win this. They're going to lose. In fact, Bartel has already resigned. New Jersey clinches the match. Philadelphia is mathematically eliminated from the postseason. New Jersey finishes with 7 points. They're probably going to leapfrog Manhattan. And their dream is that New England does not win. Because if New England doesn't win, well then New Jersey can... Oh, wait a second. Yeah, if New England doesn't win, New Jersey will leapfrog and finish in second place. Second place is the key, because then you get a bye for round 1. Around Whaler says, bro, we already know Seattle going to make it tomorrow, though. Megapanda says, Greg, this is kind of random, but does Edelman have any chance of holding, or is White just winning? Let's take a look real quick. I mean, there's certainly a chance, but I think... I mean, I think it's lost. It's not like a piece of cake. Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second, folks. Wait, did something go wrong here? Oh, Queen A6. Just barely had a way to, like, not... That's, like, the only move, because Bishop D5 would have been strong otherwise. But now, Bishop D5, Queen F1. I mean, yeah, the fact that we got this Queen to F1 is a big coup for Black. And, in fact, Black now has, in my opinion, serious chances to hold this game. Very serious. I mean, White's playing without a queen. The queen's an F1. How the hell did Edelman do this? That's what I really wonder. How did this happen? Because it was such a bad position, I thought. He actually took with the bishop on F3. I thought he would have taken with the pawn, honestly. So, somehow he already made a big... Oh, and it sacks the exchange. Look at that. Amazing play from Edelman. Oh, and by the way, Philly has won the last game, but it does not matter. They lost the match 2.5, 1.5. Oh, bad news for Boston. Huge disaster. Let me go check it out just to show you what I'm talking about. But on board 12, Black has won. I didn't like what happened here. Like this F4, F5. I mean, this is a typical thing. Whenever you play the move F5, you're giving your opponent like the most important square on the board for free for the rest of the game, which is like a really big deal. I don't know why didn't he go F6. Oh, knight G4. Okay. Okay. If knight G4, knight takes E7, what about that? Isn't that good? I actually want to look because like this is just really important positional stuff. Greg, did you used to know Edelman a long time ago? I know he hasn't been active for like 10 years. This is a funny question, actually. I did know Edelman. I played him in one game, and it was one of the funniest games of my life. One of the most memorable games of my life because I have never been this lost in a chess game and not lost. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what happened. And I told him, I kept telling him during the analysis, yeah, I was basically considering, do I resign or play another move? And I would tell him that, which I think it started to just annoy him. He was like, just stop saying you were going to resign. But I really was. I was like, it was like mate in 3, it felt like. I just cannot believe that I drew this game. I wish it was saved somewhere on the internet. Yeah, he played well until I just kind of like messed up, and I cannot believe it. I just remember my disbelief. I've never saved a position that bad against somebody so good. I have maybe one other example, but this one was like the worst, the best example ever. Sup, Josofo? Were you for real about playing a 25K poker tournament? No, I was just joking. Megapanda, it did beat that game. I mean, this is a tournament game that we're talking about, and he had like lots of time, and I was getting so checkmated in the middle of the board, like, I don't know, it just was unbelievable to me. Like, I really was just going to resign, but I was like, alright, I'll play a move. I mean, I usually don't resign. I usually err on the side of not resigning, but this one was so bad that I was like, like basically I would just sit there staring for trying to find one move that doesn't lose in like instantly. And I would eventually find one, but I would be like, okay, I must be losing in 8,000 different ways. But somehow it was never so clear. Oh, it was much worse than Classic Kumar, much worse. But yeah, this game, like, I just didn't like what he did here. I mean, White has an advantage in my opinion, but when you play a move like F4, F5, you're really putting all your eggs in one basket. And I don't know, I would have played something, I don't know, stick something on the square. I mean, even this, for example, let's say the rook goes here, and then this. I mean, like, it's an optical knight. It's like not doing that much, but it does control all these key squares, and it's hard to eject that knight from the position. Like something like that. I don't like this F4 move. It's too committal. When you have a position this good, I don't love it. I really didn't love this. I thought F6 was good, but if you play this, you gotta go F6. And now it looks bad at first, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe 7 check looks winning. So you can't go knight G4. If you take, I take, I take, I take. I mean, now all of a sudden I have bishop at knight D5 square. So I think, now, I'm sorry, now knight G4. I mean, still, I still feel like I probably should have done this. I don't know, this move. But I could be wrong. But at least we have the D5 square. Make a hole here. But instead the game went knight F4. Rook D1. Strikes me as odd. I would definitely, I don't know, strikes me as a little odd. I would have probably tried to play knight D5 maybe? I don't know. Knight D3, holy moly, what a tactic. The idea is the bishop D4 is coming. Wow, very beautiful move from Kavi. Easy to miss that. Oh, by the way, Carly. Okay, we gotta go back to this Carolina match. Corley has actually just won the game, and we're gonna stay in that match. We're gonna stay. We're gonna see what the heck has happened there. Because I actually thought he was maybe gonna draw. Obviously, I was wrong. I thought like rook here. Right, he didn't do that. What about this move, by the way? Is there a mate somewhere? Rook h2, king g5, rook h... I don't know. I don't see one, but whatever. He did this. Why that? Why not this? Then rook g2? Okay, I guess. Oh, it's starting to look ugly now. And now the pawns get rolling. It's just over. Alright, interesting. Well, Carolina gets the win. A huge win. New York has won the second game that we thought they were going to win. Bromberg has checkmated Iyer. Yeah, Becerra, I mean, great play from Edelman. Great creative play, for sure. Acid Pawn. Now, all the teams have a tournament director on site, making sure there is no foul play. This game is ended. So let's go back to... This game's over. The Schroer game's very interesting. This is one where Carolina could pick up a 2-0 lead. I think Corallo's going to win. You know, I think Schroer wins this. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go on a limb here. I think if Schroer wins this, Carolina is going to pull off one of the biggest upsets in league history and make the playoffs. Why is that a big upset? Because they started the season horribly. They started with a half out of 5. And this would mean they'd end the season, if they win this match, with 3.5 out of 5. By the way, Belyson has lost. Let's go to split screen. It's time. It's time, baby. Let's go to the Wang game. I'm sorry, not the Wang. Yeah. So, Wang against Student. What the holy crap has happened here? How did this happen? I can't believe this. Oh, I guess the rook can go to a2, but like, come on, we couldn't just draw this somehow? There's no way? Really? There's no way? There's no way to draw this position? This sure isn't the way. Wow. This is going to be the second week in a row that Student is going to save an endgame where it like he has an extra pawn, but his opponent is much more active. The same thing happened last week against Krasik, where he won the game, and he's great chances to win this game too. It's not going to be easy, rook and pawn versus knight and pawn, but I just can't believe that Black doesn't have some relatively simple way to deal with this position. I mean, here's a standard idea, for example. Let's go back a few moves. So when you have this knight on f3, what you want is your rook on d2. And then you just want to hop back and forth with knight h2 and knight f3. Ah, but the problem is after king e1, knight f3, rook takes. But still, okay, let's say we play this move. Rook a3, I assume, was going to get played. Now we go rook to b2. I mean, it's just like, I just can't believe that this is so good for white. Like, check. King e1 is the only real way to fight here. Knight c4. By the way, Rosman has won against Ibramahov. I don't even know how that happened. We're going to have to go check out the Charbonneau game. But a position like this, rook a2 is playable, but then rook b3, it's just like, because at some point I'm going to win this g-pawn also. Like, I might just do this. Threatening. I don't know. I mean, I'm analyzing very quickly, but it's just really shocking to me how that happened. And now Black has to defend rook and pawn versus knight and pawn. It's not easy to win. Is it a draw or not? Probably not, but this is not going to be easy at all. Let's quickly go back to I think the match is going to end in a draw, though, at least. I think Atlanta's going to make the playoffs, but it looks to me like Schroer is going to win. So we don't know. I mean, if Wang can somehow draw this game, Carolina's going to get into the playoffs, I think, because I think Schroer will win. Let's go back quickly to the very important game. Not this one. Where's Ostrovsky's game? Peleas has won, by the way. His rook sack paid off. Why can't I can't find Ostrovsky's game. Did it end when I wasn't paying attention? I don't even understand where it went. Oh, I have to... What? Oh, the game ended. I really didn't see it. I mean, White should have tried to not repeat, because I thought it was pretty clear that they needed to win this game to have any chance in the match. So good draw by New York. New York now officially wins. Do they officially win the division? No. New England can catch them. New England has to win 3-1 at least. If New England wins 3-1, New England will still win the division. Well, first of all, Josofo, I'm a big champion of poker. Let's get that straight. But I haven't really played anymore these days. Well, Poker Pro, I also played lots of multi-table tournaments online, and that's how I made a lot of money on them. But okay, in a 25K deep stack tournament these days, okay, I admit maybe I'm an underdog, maybe. But who knows, So, but yeah, as soon as the blinds get high, I become very strong at poker tournaments, or at least become pretty decent, pretty good. So, I mean, basically now, where the hell did the Boston games go? Why have they disappeared from my... I have to go find them again. Somehow they got closed. New England needs to win 3-1 to win the division. Because they would then tie with New York, and I think they would win on tie breaks. But if they go 2.5, then they're still tied with New York, but then New York wins on tie breaks. Now New England is already up 1-0. Oh, they're up 2-0. I'm sorry, I forgot to update the standings. So that's big news. If New England can, if New England can just draw the other 2 games, they're going to win the division. Zierk is getting his ass whooped. Well, probably. Well, I mean, the rooks are actually a little annoying. And by the way, Carolina is up 2-1. Francisco resigned. It looked like he was losing. Great game from Schroer. So it all comes down to this game. The playoffs rest upon this game. Can White win with rook and pawn versus knight and pawn? If Student wins, Atlanta will be making the playoffs. Oh, that's not 100% sure. If Boston wins their last 2 games, Boston can make it. I just don't see there's any real chance that will happen. So if Student wins, Atlanta's going to make the playoffs. And in my opinion, if Carolina wins or draws this game, Carolina will make the playoffs. Wang just did something completely silly. He just offered Student a draw. The chance, you know, is just a waste. It's just dumb. Obviously, he's not going to take it. But somehow everyone in the U.S. Chess League does that. They just click draw. So, I mean, a lot riding on this game. The entire season for both teams. I cannot believe that Carolina's still in it, but somehow they've really had a great second half to the season. Let's just break down what's happened for Carolina this year. So they lost. They tied their first match, and then they lost 4 straight. They lost 4 in a row. So it looked like Carolina's just out, right? Then they beat one of the best teams in the league. They beat New Jersey. Then they tied New England, who's like leading the division. Then they lost to Philadelphia, and then they beat Connecticut. So in a span of 4 weeks, they beat New Jersey, Connecticut, and tied New England. 3 really strong teams. And if they can win this match, that would be 3.5 out of the last 5. And I feel like, hey, they're playing well now. They deserve to go to the playoffs. By the way, Katz is pushing here. He's definitely a little better. I mean, New England might take this. They may find a way to win this division. It's going to be close. This is not going to be easy to win. Black has a nice little fortress here. He's going to try his ass off, but it's not going to be easy. And let's imagine we get our knight to g6. Oh, but then White has typical winning plan. All right. So let's break this down. I want to go back to the Ivanov game though, real quick. So, what's up, Buzzo? Buzzo is in the house. Todd Bryant says Student Wang is a draw. Yeah, but okay. It doesn't. Whether it's a draw or not is not so relevant. What matters is what's going to happen in the game. Well, what is this? Knight to f6. Wow. Because if bishop takes f6, did he mess up? Did Ivanov just totally mess this up? Is Ivanov losing? Is Ivanov losing his position now? Holy moly. I'm very confused. Okay, he has to do something like maybe queen f5? Rook takes bishop, king g2, and I guess he's not losing. But if he goes bishop takes knight, rook takes bishop, king g2, rook g1 wins the queen and the game. And if he goes like queen f3, we just trade everything on f1 and play knight takes d5. I mean, it looks like he really messed something up here. I don't know. exactly how this went down. But there's no way in hell that this is the way it was supposed to happen. There's no way. It's not possible. No way, man. Nothing you say will convince me this was supposed to happen. A queen, even queen e2 is maybe okay here. Oh, is white really so paralyzed we can't do anything here? What about queen h3? Yeah, like why not queen h3 here? And then if rook c1, queen takes d7. I guess queen h3. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. It's a mystery to me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Wait, why did they say... Yeah, so queen f5, right? Very annoying move. But things are... I don't know what the heck is going on here. Okay, so this endgame, by the way, I just wanted to analyze it with Student and Wang. It's just this Ivanov game is really interesting me. So let's say this pawn gets here, right? Oh, it's black's move, whatever. Black can, let's say black goes for like this setup. Like this, with the idea of putting the knight on g6. Here's the danger of this line. Okay, let's say I do this, you do this, and then I play like this move. Well, the danger is...
Draw?
That's not really that much of a danger. But the danger is at some point, like if you try and do this endgame always wins for white. But it's just kind of hard to make it happen. Let's say this. I mean, it might not win anymore is the problem. I mean, obviously it doesn't win anymore. We just go king f8, or king f7 is fine. We have opposition. I mean, it should be a draw. It's going to be complicated. 98, was that necessary? It's probably fine. Yeah, I mean, Ivanov really messed something up big time. While Katz is 1? What the heck happened? Was that easy? Well, I don't understand. I understand Katz has like the advantage here, but why? Why did the game end? He just resigned? Isn't that a little early? That seems... I mean, listen, I understand you may be winning, but like, just play some moves, make them prove it. It's a team competition. I mean, you know, the point is that white has ideas like rook d7, and after trade, knight takes c6, pawn takes b7. But despite that, you just don't, there's no need, you're never gain anything from resigning. Maybe there's some weird ass defense that you're just not noticing. Probably not. You know, go h5, maybe your h pawn will somehow be fast, but it won't. Yeah, I guess it's lost. I still don't like to resign. But New England's now up 3-0. It looks like they might take this division. The thing is, Zurich would have to win somehow. I don't think he will, but hey, it's possible actually. Oh no, it's over. It's over. Yeah, because New England's up 3-0, which means that they win the division. All they need to do is win 3-1. So that's it. New England with a big win against a desperate Boston team. Boston's now out of the playoffs. New England is division winner. New York is the second seed. That's official. Boston's out. And Manhattan is probably going to get... Well, Manhattan gets the 4th seed. So I'm going to put right here... We're going to put this in the thing. It's just going to show up in my thing. Yeah, it will. Oh, we hit the score though. Brutal. I'm gonna delete that. But basically, what's happened? New England is first. New York, second seed. New Jersey is getting the third seed. Manhattan is getting the fourth seed. Connecticut has locked down the fifth seed, no matter what happens at this point. Yeah. And the winner of this last game will decide. So Connecticut and Manhattan are playing next week. That much we know. Manhattan will advance in a draw in the playoffs, and whoever survives between Atlanta and Carolina will be treated. Will get to face New Jersey. The winner of Manhattan, Connecticut will play New England, and so the playoff picture is starting to get decided here. But this is going to be an unbelievable fight between Student and Wang. I understand it's a fortress, but I mean, I guess it might be just too easy for White to play. It might just be that there's not that much opportunity to go wrong. But a good thing to try to think about here is if you're White, how would you try to do anything? Okay, so probably what you would try to do. Oh, it doesn't really help though. I was thinking stick the rook on f6 and walk the king around e7. So like the idea would be to let them take your rook on f6 with the knight, but then you try to win the king and pawn game. But the problem is that when you put a rook on f6, a knight goes to h7, also attacks the g5 pawn, which is a big problem. Like black would rather take the pawn than the rook there. Now there's a lot of problems with that idea. I'm just trying to find a way, what possible way can White try to win this? It's not going to be easy. Ivanov's Zurich game no longer has any relevant effect on the standings. Let's take a quick look at this Becerra game. Wow, this is interesting. He managed to trade a pair of bishops, which is generally very good news for White. White's position has improved somewhat, but I think it'll be hard for Becerra to win this. But if Becerra draws, Miami at least draws the match. And I think on board 4, White's doing fine here. So I think, well, this is Connecticut. I don't know. I mean, I think Miami's probably going to draw, maybe win. Connecticut, the match really barely matters at all. It doesn't matter for either team anymore. Connecticut's locked in as the 5th seed. I mean, it's nice to have a plus record on the season. Like, to go 4.5 out of 10 is a little demoralizing, but hey, they're in the playoffs. They're a good team. They're certainly capable of beating other teams, like even a team strong as Manhattan. So we'll see what happens. Ivanov Zirk still going. What's up, Mega Panda? Kolas won? Did I mess up? I thought it said Peleas won. I'm sorry, so focused on the... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. My apologies. My apologies. Everything changes. Sorry! Fortunately, this match didn't matter that much. That's why I wasn't paying like super close attention. Because the match was not... There was not that much at stake. Oh, Queen H7 wins it. Well, nice job. Nice defense, Kolas. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Ivanov's king has issues, that's for sure. What the heck? Ivanov messed this one up big time. Is this like almost mate? I don't even understand. Like, really close to checkmate. Really close. It's just mate, isn't it? How can this not? Oh, you can go bishop. No, this is going to be mate. White's going to lose. Yeah, White's going to lose. Um, yeah, I mean, Rook D3 just wins the game. Unbelievable, but it doesn't matter. All New England needed was a 3-1 win, and they got it. Robert says, Greg, in the student Wang game, if all the pieces were shifted up 1 or 2 ranks, is it still theoretically drawn? Oh, what a question. I mean, it might not be because the rook could check from behind. So it might not be a draw then. This game's over. Zurich's going to win. Shocking turnaround. Student, though, is going to fight to the bitter end. I mean, the whole season rests on this end game. I mean, I don't know if there's that much he can do, but it's going to try. It's going to try something. I don't know what. Okay, I can see an idea. No, it's an idea. It's a horrible idea. I can see a horrible idea. One thing you can try to do is... Let's see. Well... No. Wait, so... Oh god, yeah, it's just like nothing. It's like no plan. I see no plan here. I think Carolina's going to make an amazing comeback. Starting the season with a 0.5 out of 5 to make the playoffs. I would have never seen that coming. I wrote them out a long time ago. But I guess, you know, they kept winning matches just out of nowhere against pretty good teams, you know. Like I said, they beat New Jersey. They tied New England, who's winning this freaking division. And then they also beat, what, Boston? Who was the other team they beat? Not Boston. It was Connecticut. Yeah, so they beat Connecticut. They beat New Jersey. New Jersey is a really good team. Finishes the season 7-3. So one of their 3 losses to Carolina. And oh, by the way, Ivanov has officially lost. He ran out of time. But New England still wins the match and the division, and they're going to face the winner of Manhattan versus Connecticut in round 1. We still don't know who the 6th seed is. That's who New Jersey is going to play. My guess is they're going to play Carolina. And it's funny, Carolina beat New Jersey already. So could they do it again? Who knows? They did it once. The thing was, New Jersey was not using their ideal lineup. I think they only had 1 Grandmaster in the lineup instead of 2. What up, Left Bridge Chess? And by the way, everyone remember, tomorrow we're going to watch the Western games. And we got some really good teams over there. The playoff race there is more intense than the playoff race in the East, for sure. Because 8 of the teams are still eligible. Like, almost all the teams can get kicked out of the playoffs at this point. Let me see how it is in the West. I know, like, Seattle and Arizona are playing each other, and probably the winner makes the playoffs, and the loser is out. We have a team like Lubbock, who is playing for their playoff life. Okay, basically 3 teams have clinched a playoff berth in the West, whereas the others are still fighting for the spots. I think it's basically, you know, it's funny. Even Minnesota has Minnesota's pretty much cooked. They're out. But you have San Francisco, Seattle, Arizona, Lubbock, and Rio Grande. Those 5 teams are fighting for the last 3 playoff spots. And I think they're all in a situation where if they win, they're going to make the playoffs. So that's, it's a good spot to be in when you control your own destiny. Hi, Sansom103. You know, honestly, I've just been too lazy to shave. I meant to shave today, but I don't know. I just showered at the last second, and I wanted to play a bullet tournament, and so I just didn't have time. Mega Panda. The first 2 get draw odds. The first 2 actually get a bye into the second round. And then 3 plays against 6, and 4 plays against 5. 3 gets draw odds, and 4 gets draw odds. So next week, on Tuesday night, we're going to see all the wild card playoff games in one night, and it's going to be draw odd. Oh, sorry, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday are the wild card games, and then the Tuesday after it will be the quarterfinals. Then the semifinals the Wednesday after that, and then Tuesday, December 1st for the championships. Jug handle, yeah, can't go down that road right now. Oh, scores are off screen, sure, but I actually wanted to have the seeding on for a bit. But here are the scores. 4 gets draw. Everyone, if you have a better seed, you get draw odds. It's that simple. It doesn't matter if you won by a half point or 2 points better. You know, in this case, actually, Manhattan has 2 more points than Connecticut. So, oh no, sorry, maybe just 1 more point, but they have a much better record. Every team with a better record gets draw odds against the team with the worst record the whole way. So getting 4th place is very important. And that's why the West is going to be very exciting tomorrow, because all of these teams are not only fighting to make the playoffs, but to get the best seed that they can. And even the teams that have locked up their playoff berths can drop. They can drop like rocks tomorrow and fall into to a spot where they don't get a bye in the first round, pretty much. It really looks like Wang is going to draw this game. He's probably at some point going to start writing draw, hoping for a 3-time repetition. Because I just don't see what Student's going to do. And I'm kind of curious, did he go wrong somewhere? Like, did White have better winning chances anywhere along the line? No, I think Black actually defended this quite well. I mean, I was originally kind of critical of what he did. I thought he would just lose, but now the more I look at it, he just got this fortress, and it's going to be very tough. Veni Vidi Vici. Greg, would you agree that New England will win the championship? New England's impressive, man. Impressive team. I mean, they're going to face, you know, either Manhattan or Connecticut in the first round. And one thing I know, Manhattan gets draw odds, so let's say because they get draw odds, let's assume they're the favorite to win. I mean, they're a really good team if they put their maximum lineup up. Like, if they throw Azoria on board 1, you know, like, forget on board 2, like Crush, and then like Hans Niemann on board 3 or 4. They're a dangerous, dangerous team. So, I think New England's got a good chance because they got the draw odds, but they're going to have to get through some real obstacles on the way to the finals. Some really tough teams. Carolina is going to do this. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Because, I mean, half out of 5 is like a really bad record. And, you know, they're going to get 4 out of 10, which is not amazing. But think about how they started. And, you know, the East is really top-heavy. You got 3 or 4 teams that are just crushing everyone. So there's a lot of teams with really good records, and then a lot with, like, really lower records. It's just amazing. Asset upon draw odds means that there's a 4, you know, it's a 4-player match. 4-player match. And if the match is tied 2-2, it means that the team with the draw odds advances to the next round. I can't figure out any even remote chance for White to win this anymore. Can't figure it out. Rook h7 doesn't do anything. I would do that anyway, I guess. Here's what I would try. Sorry, I meant rook h6. So I would try this move. Just move the rook somewhere. Oh no, but then, sorry, I'd take this back. I would go I would do like not rook h6. I would play some random move, right? So like this. I assume king g7, and now rook h6. So first of all, this loses to rook takes and king e6. This is a standard loss. So now black has to do something, probably this move. But all of a sudden, you know, we can at least do something. Like, I was thinking king f6, knight to e... Well, what is this g6 move? Knight to d7, king e7. I don't know, we're at least doing something. Knight f8. Wait, did I mess this up for him? Actually, is this like... Yo, guys, let me know what's happening here. So, like, knight, rook d6. I mean, I feel like he should have tried something like along these lines. Because, I mean, at this point, it's not simple for black to find a move. I guess this move is okay. But I would at least test black in this position. You can always just go back now with the rook. This g6 move, you know, interesting attempt. So g6, pawn takes, king here. I mean, knight h7, is that horrible? That should still be a draw because the knight's close to the king. He's gonna try, you know, white's gonna play to the bitter end. But it's technically, I believe it's still a draw. King to g7 should be played here. Yeah, now it's a draw. But white's gonna try. Aspired for life. Hi, Greg. Do you find it ironical that Philly with 20 game points is eliminated, whereas Carolina with much lesser game points is going to qualify? Well, the thing is, Philly won 2 matches 4-0. I mean, that's the way it works, you know. Like in Major League Baseball, for example, you don't look at a team and be like, you know, do you find it amazing that this team scored so many more runs than the other team? The way the matches are scored is you have to win the match, and if you don't get 2.5 points, it's just a loss. Just like in baseball, if you get less points or any sport than your opponent, it's a loss for that one game. So, I mean, I actually don't think it's... I don't think so, no. But, I mean, I could see some people would look at that and think that it means something. Hey, Pre-Ardashian. What's up? You guys ready? St. Louis? Looking good this year. But, you know, like, once you start changing the scoring where all that matters is game points, it completely eliminates any team aspect from the league, because you don't have to, there's no need to ever draw for the team, or every game is then just its own individual battle. So I kind of think that you know, it's annoying. I guess you know, you have really good tie breaks, and that's really valuable. A lot of times teams tie, but sometimes, you know, it just doesn't work out. Philly has 3 out of 7, but like a huge... It's amazing that they have 3 out of 7. But how many points do they have, game points wise? I haven't even looked. Wow, they scored 20 out of 40. That means they have 50% of game points, despite having a 3-7 record. That's like probably the best ratio of game points to match points I've ever seen in the league. Philadelphia they just happened to win 2 matches 4-0, which is very, very rare. And then all the matches they lost were pretty close. Komoromi says, well, the Olympiad used to be super exciting with individual board scoring. Sure, but I mean, it's like not... It's no longer like a team competition when you do individual board scoring. It's just like 4 people playing against 4 people, and it doesn't matter if your team wins, has more points than the other team. It's just kind of irrelevant. I never understood why they did that in the Olympiad. It just seemed so weird to me. Like, especially being in the U.S. and just like, I mean, imagine if football worked that way. Like, you know, just the most point, whoever scores the most points for the whole season makes the playoffs, and it doesn't actually matter at all if you win the game. Like, that's basically what you're saying it should be if you just count game points, which To me, it just makes no sense. This knight's going to draw. It's basically, when the knight's close to the king, in the center of the board like this, it's almost impossible. Jalapeno says, why are they still playing? Well, White has to play. The whole season rests on this. He has to try for his team to somehow swindle Black, but it's very unlikely to happen. Yeah, and Kanapin says, Priyadyashin Kanapin says, yeah, with Nizhnik in the lineup, we're also dangerous. Yeah, Ilya Nizhnik now plays for the St. Louis Archbishops. St. Louis is a strong team this year. A lot of strong teams in the West. We're going to see all those teams play tomorrow night, and it's going to be some really exciting matchups. St. Louis is playing Dallas for the championship. Aspired for Life, yes, the championship tiebreak has been retained. We were only thinking of changing it last year because it was also used in the semifinal. And we thought that's a bit much to have this weird tiebreak in so many different matches. But we figured for just the championship match, alright, we're going to have this tiebreak because it's super fun and interesting. And, you can't really base a team around a tiebreak when it only comes up once a year in the very championship match. So the championship system, which everyone loves, the tiebreak everyone loves, will remain the same. Vinny Vidivici has another question. Greg, will you agree that New England will win the championship? I think this is the 40th time you've asked me. I gotta make some odds, like some betting odds in the championship. Listen, New England has draw odds, so just based on math, I have to make them the favorites in the East. I have to do it. Mega Panda says, LOL, Boston lost twice versus Dallas in the tiebreak, twice in a row. Yeah, 2 consecutive years it was Boston, Dallas in the final, and they lost both times in the championship. Never got a straight answer, Alex? Alright, let me think. Will New England win the championship? Well, I'm going to tell you what their odds are. About, I would say their odds of winning the championship are in the 20% range. Just off the top of my head. I don't know if that's the answer you wanted to hear. It's pretty good odds. Pretty good odds. Because I think, just mathematically, they're like 66% to win their first match, probably. 66% again, and then about 50-50 in the final, which probably adds up to like 20%. Because they're going to play some, like Manhattan, New England, New Jersey. And New York, New Jersey, and Manhattan are all really good teams. If New England has to beat 2 of those teams, it's not going to be easy to avoid losing in 2 of those matches. And then in the final, the Western teams are extremely strong. I kind of personally, my apologies, but I feel like there's a few Western teams that I would make at least a small favorite over New England. So that's why I put it around 20%. You're satisfied with that? Yeah, 20% is pretty good. Think about this: 20 teams in the league. Start the season with 5% chance, and now you're already up to 20%. It's amazing. I will say at the moment, I feel like Dallas. I like Dallas. I like St. Louis too, though. I would put those 2 as the favorites in the West. Mega Panda says, I think New England will get steamrolled. Wow. Aspired for Life. Do you think any team can put a 2,500 lineup? No, I don't think so. Not this year. How many moves deep are we in this endgame? Of course, I haven't been following. Let's hide the examine board so we can count. Oh, Becerra's game's still going. What the heck is happening here? Becerra, it's going to be probably a draw. I don't know. This is an amazing game by Edelman. Right. When did this endgame begin? It began on move 70. So we're only 20 moves in right now. I heard something funny. Oh, wow, it's black to move. Black may have to knight the pawn. This looks like some theoretical endgame. And then after king f3, usually this is just lost for black. Or usually it's, yeah, I forget how exactly. But now we have the move g5. It still might be dangerous. Wow, so many rooks versus knights. Somebody said, yeah, that's an auto-bam. What happened? Mega Panda, Greg, if Caruana or Nakamura somehow played for St. Louis, would you change the 2600 rule? See, here's what people don't understand. Any league that starts changing rules so that Nakamura and Caruana cannot effectively play in it is basically the dumbest league that exists. That would be so short-sighted to try to make it hard for teams to field the two of the top players in the world. So, I mean, listen, me personally, I would think that would be like a horrendous thing to do and extremely short-sighted. We do have, my opinion, I'm not a complete dictator, so who knows what will happen, but I pray to God that that never happens, because there would be nothing better than having two of the top players in the league playing in the league, and you just want that kind of exposure. And these guys are not invincible. Even a team with Caruana and Nakamura could lose. Trust me on that. They would be a big favorite. But, these guys are playing in major tournaments all the time, so they won't be available for every match. And so, it's just, that's basically my answer. Cinetic. Some people are going a little bit crazy in the stream right now. A little bit nuts in the Twitch chat. This is going to be a draw. I don't see any way that Wang is going to mess this up. And Carolina is going to complete an incredible comeback. Chess Bra keeps invading. Yeah, but I love the Chess Bra peeps. They're the best. How many moves are we in? Like 30?
Draw?
Somebody's offered to draw somewhere. I think probably the Becerra game. Becerra has offered a draw, and it has been accepted. I mean, I gotta be honest. I really like the way that Edelman defended that position. Very impressive stuff, in my opinion. This looks like... How did this happen? This looks like theoretical loss. I feel like I've seen this endgame before. Oh, wait. Is this a loss? It's maybe... I mean, I should just know, but I don't. I don't know. Knight h3 is the only move, right? Or knight h1 is a move, too. No, knight h1... Oh my god, I can't figure it out. Somehow it seems like it's losing. How many games are going to be rook versus knight? This one's much more interesting. Okay, wow. Why did they just agree? Well, there you have it. Carolina is in. Atlanta is out. How about that? That's unbelievable. I did not see that coming. 6th seed is now Carolina 6th seed. So what does this mean? It means New Jersey is facing Carolina. I'm sure they're happy about that, just because they're going to have a big rating edge. And, well, Manhattan's playing Connecticut. New Jersey faces Carolina and gets draw odds. But, like, for Carolina to make the playoffs starting half out of 5, I mean, it shows that anything can happen. You can never really count teams out completely. They will be big underdogs against New Jersey next week. Huge. Because they not only have to win the match. But hey, they're there. Who knows what can happen in any one game. We got some crazies in the chat still. Apologize about the nutsos. Can I ask a question, by the way? Is there any way Is there any way to, like, whenever I try to scroll up in the chat when it's getting spammed, it doesn't really let me. Is there is there any way to do that? Hey, what's up, Thong and Labia? So yeah, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I think we're about to end the show. There is still one more game. Oh, let's watch another Rook versus Knight. What the heck? See if he defends it. Although it doesn't really matter. Connecticut's the one who is going for the win. So Connecticut's going to win the match. It's not really... Connecticut can't theoretically lose anymore. So I'm going to give them the win. Miami gets the loss. Because Connecticut just needs to draw, and they have a Rook versus a Knight. So Connecticut finishes with 5.5 out of 10, which is a solid enough record. They're going to be facing Manhattan. And New Jersey facing Carolina next week. And tomorrow night we are going to look at the other games in the West. There's going to be a lot of exciting matchups, and we'll see what happens. Oh, Black resigned. Where'd Black resign? Why did he resign? What? Why? Okay, Knight h1, Rook c2 wins. But Knight h3... That's why I'm just not 100% sure where the forced win is. I'm sure it's there, but I'm just going to look because it's driving me nuts. Knight h3. Oh, it's just this move. Sorry, duh. Okay, my bad. It just wins instantly. Alright, so it was correct to resign. And Connecticut wins 3-0. Tough match, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We will see you tomorrow. And now we're going to play some Blitz, which will come in. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be a separate video.